Hello, everyone. I'm back to read another Choose Your Own Adventure book. This one is Knights of the Round Table by Ellen Kushner, and it's Choose Your Own Adventure number 86. And let's see, I'll read the back cover. You're the star, 24 exciting endings. Can you become a Knight of the Round Table? You've been working in the kitchen of King Arthur's castle, scrubbing pots. You desperately want to prove your courage and loyalty to King Arthur and become one of his knights. One day, hi Stephanie, hi Rachel. One day as you're riding along the perilous passage in the forest, a man tells you how you can prove your valor. He says you can either challenge the dangerous Knight of the Ford, who stops people from crossing the stream, or you can attempt to defeat the Black Knight, the terrible enemy of the king. If you decide to challenge the Knight of the Ford, turn to page 36. If you decide to go up against the Black Knight, turn to page 90. Be warned! Defeat by magic or steel is always just around the bend in medieval England. You might lose a jousting match, or be tricked by an evil witch. Or you might save King Arthur in Camelot to become a true Knight of the Round Table. What happens next in the story? It all depends on the choices you make. How does the story end? Only you can find out. And the best part is that you can keep reading and rereading till you've had not one, but many incredibly daring experiences. He's scrubbing chamber pots. Yeah, maybe. All right. Let me open my thingy here. There we go. She turned me into a newt. I got better. All right. There's gonna be a lot of Monty Python references on this one. And kids can't stop reading the Choose Your Own Adventure stories, of course. That 17-year-old is still reading them. All right, and yeah, so it's illustrated by Judith Mitchell. It's an Edward Packard book. There's an illustration here. Oh, and here's the illustration on the front cover. Arthurian legend. Arthurian stuff has so much shenanigan potential, for sure. Oh, hi, Beth. All right, here we go. To my little brothers, David and Philip Kushner, who played with knights and built castles of blocks, and who, grown up now, do not forget the lessons of chivalry, courage, honor, generosity, and compassion for the weak. And this was originally published in December 1988. Here we are, not knowing how to sword. He's like, is that how I use a sword? Here. I'm going to fight you. A sword, I think. Warning. Do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures you may have when you try to become one of the knights of King Arthur's Round Table. As you read along, you will have many choices to face, and the adventures you have will be the result of those choices. In your quest to become a knight, you will meet up with a dreadful giant, a dangerous knight, and the evil Morgan Le Fay. Remember that your knighthood will not only depend upon your courage and skill with the sword, but also upon your honesty, kindness, and loyalty. Good luck. Oh, is the last one that she penned before she blew up? That's good to know, Rob. Yeah, just keep her expectations reasonable. Like being famous or exploded. She literally exploded. That was it. That's why she didn't write anymore. She exploded. It seems like an ordinary Saturday. Your best friend is away visiting relatives. You've read all the books in your room, and there's nothing good on TV. You mope around for a while, trying to find something to do. Finally, you decide to go to the Sword and the Stone, a store that carries comics and models and books about knights and castles and stuff. The owner of this store is an old man with a long white beard. His eyes peer out brightly from under bushy eyebrows. They are fixed on you. "Come back for more, have you?" the man asks. You guess you have been coming to the store a lot since it opened a few months ago. There's something about the old days of knights in armor and quests that you really like, and the old man is very nice about letting you browse. That means you've read most of the books in the store without having to pay for them. Ha ha! That's great. What a nice store. Chris, I wrote this book, Creepy Old Man in D&D Store. Very cool, yep. Nothing bad's gonna happen there. This time you want something special, don't you? The old store owner says. It's getting time to make it real. What? Was this like did they like rip off the plot of the Never-Ending Story here? This book is not for you. Your books are safe. No. Okay, turn to page 10. Oh, like it shows all the Camelot board game, castle building kit, Lords and Ladies card game. That I don't want the old man to make it real. Yeah, no. I don't trust that guy. Rubber swords, $5.95 and up. Inflatable dragon. All right. Page 10. Let's get to page 10 here. You're not sure what the store owner means about making it real, but you nod your head. The old man takes a heavy, old, leather-bound book down from a shelf. King Arthur and His Noble Knights. You've heard of Arthur, the greatest king the world has ever known. He was the defender of the poor and oppressed, lord of the bravest and most beautiful company of knights and ladies ever to walk the earth. Arthur pulled the sword, Excalibur, from the magic stone, who was only a little older than you are now. No one else could budge that sword. It proved by magic that Arthur was born to be king of England. The bearded store owner strokes the book as though it were a pet or an old friend, and silently offers it to you. Without a word, you take the book and go sit in the cozy chair in the store's reading nook. Page 4. We are too trusting. Yeah, sure, old dude. I'm just nodding my head. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure. The book is heavy. The pages have yellowed with age, and some of the words are long. But after a while, the reading gets easier. You read about the boy Arthur becoming king. You read about his friend Merlin, the wizard, and their early wars against the other kings. Then Arthur got the idea to collect all the bravest knights and gather them around a round table with no head or foot, so that everyone was equal. He made the Knights of the Round Table promise to fight for what was good and right. You read about how the knights went on adventures. Between quests, they jousted in pretend battles, called tournaments. Even kids got to have adventures, because kids who wanted to be knights had to start out training as pages, and sometimes pages were the only ones who could escape when everyone else had been captured. Go on to the next page. You're just reading a part that goes, Then Arthur set up his court in Camelot, and there came the best knights in the world to serve him at the Round Table. And never a person came hungry to Arthur's castle, but he left it full of bread and meat. And never a person came to Camelot looking for adventure, but he left it on some quest or great adventure. Now one day it happened that... When a shadow falls over the page. Oh no, what's going to happen? Night Stuff 101. Learning about knights. You look up quickly to find the source of the shadow. I'm sorry, the old store owner says, but that's as far as I can let you read. But why? It would not be right for you to know too much. You'll have to discover things for yourself. That is, if you're willing. He's talking just like an enchanter from the book. You can almost picture him in a wizard's long robe. It seems as if magic has come out of the book to find you. Oh yes, the old man says. You know just what I mean. I can see it in your eyes. That hunger for nights and the days of adventure. You're not the first one I've seen it in. I'm going to help you get there. Get where, you wonder? To Camelot? That's impossible. It's only a story. It's not real. But the old man is looking serious at you with his strange eyes. You can try to learn how to be a knight and help King Arthur. He holds up another book. Of course, if you'd rather have your adventures between book covers, I have plenty of books. You can borrow as many as you like. Books have been known to change people's lives, you know. Are they strange because of racism or some other reason? I bet this old man is Merlin. Like, we find that out at the end. He was actually Merlin all along. Oh, you didn't miss much, Caroline? We're in a old bookstore. There's like a creepy old dude as an owner, and he gave us a book about Camelot, and we started reading it, and then he told us we couldn't read any further. So, I'm going to help you get to 7 minutes in heaven. Uh-oh. If you ask to go to Camelot, turn to page 14. If you take the book to finish it, turn to page 20. The real Merlin with the friends that we made along the way. Yeah, I mean, we're at a store called, like, Knights or something. Yeah, so do we want to go to Camelot, or do we want to... Are we asking him to go to Camelot now, or do we want to take the book and finish it first? Obviously, we want to go to Camelot, right? Take me to Camelot. Go to Camelot. Let's do it. All right, go to Camelot. Yes, we've got to do it. All right, page 14. You tell the old man, "Let me go to Camelot, and I'll do everything I can to help the king." "That is good," he says. "I will send you off like a knight on a quest. But you are not a knight yet, and I don't know what your quest will be. You will have many choices to face, and some may be hard. But remember, knighthood is not only courage and bashing people with swords. It is honesty and kindness and loyalty as well." "I'll remember," he promised solemnly. "Then here is your first choice." The store owner takes 2 models off a shelf. "This is a page who works for the knights, training to be a knight someday. Pages are carefully watched, and if this is what you choose, you'll have little time to yourself. The other model is a scullion, who scrubs pots in the kitchen scullery. Scullions work very hard, but when your work is done, nobody cares where you go. And people talk in front of servants. You might hear secrets. But if I work in the kitchen, I'll never get to be a knight." He looks sharply at you and then laughs. "Oh, I forgot. You never got to finish the book. My dear child, anything is possible in Camelot." What does some of these books say? Incantations. The Battle of Hastings. I don't think we want to go there. Encyclopedia of Medieval Working Animals. Okay. Childe Harold. History of Fortifications. For a second, I thought it said that it was not fortifications, that it was a different word, and I was like, no, this is a children's book, so sorry. Directory of Questing. Okay, didn't know they had. Anyways, okay. So he's showing us some. Like, at this point, I can't believe we believe this old dude. Like, we don't think he's just like some crazy old dude. We're going to play with toys now. This dude is included. Everyone at this workplace contributes equally. Yeah, well, if we're a page, we'll get 5. Yeah, they have some owl bookends. Those are cool. All right, so if you choose to become a page, turn to page 47. If you choose to become a scullion, turn to page 26. Yeah, fortifications. Costume, volume 11, $10.99 to $14.99. Okay. Yellow pages. All right, so that's our choice. We can either become a page. Okay, page. Anyone else for page? Page. What's that other book? Illustrated History of the Tuatha De Danann. Oh, Beowulf, of course. You gotta have Beowulf there. The Holy Grail. The Grail. Page, page, page. Right. Looks like we're doing the page. That's what most people wanted, right? Page. All right. Stephanie's like, but scullion's a cooler word. All right, page 47. Page 47. The model of the page has nearly shoulder-length hair and wears a little knife at its belt. You take it from the old man and hold it tightly in your hand. Suddenly you feel dizzy. You don't even know which way the floor is. You stumble forward and find that your feet are scuffing on stone. You're standing in the courtroom of the castle. A young man comes hurrying up to you. "When I was your age," he says, "we pages didn't just stand around daydreaming. Sir Lancelot and Sir Dinadan are both asking for help. Snap to it." Okay. You're right in the thick of it. No introduction there. Okay. If you go to help Sir Lancelot, turn to page 50. If you go to Sir Dinadan, turn to page 89. Times arrow. But we didn't lose our heads, though, yet. Well, I know Lancelot. I've heard of Lancelot, but I don't know who Dinadan is. All right, everyone's saying Lancelot. Yeah. Page 50. You decide to help Sir Lancelot first. The young man is a squire, the rank between page and knight. He takes you to where the great Sir Lancelot is working on his armor. "A knight's armor has to be perfectly smooth and polished," Lancelot explains to you, "so his enemy's sword or lance can't catch in it." He gives you a piece of armor to polish with a soft cloth. You're amazed that the most famous of Arthur's knights is doing such lowly work, but he says, "Half of being great at what you do is paying attention to detail. I'm riding out on a quest tomorrow. I hear there's a giant in Cornwall making trouble for the people there. My squire is sick, so I'll need a page to come with me to help keep my armor clean and carry my extra weapons. You seem like a hard worker. Would you like to come? Of course, if you'd rather stay here and see the great tournament next week, I wouldn't blame you. I know Sir Dinadan needs a page too. He's got a lot to do getting ready for the tournament." Why they keep pushing us to, go to Dinadan? If you choose to go with Lancelot on his quest, turn to page 2. If you decide to become Sir Dinadan's page, turn to page 17. Oh, Dunedain? Am I mispronouncing it? Oh, Dunedain is in the musical Camelot? Oh, he murdered Lancelot. Okay, spoilers. I never saw that. Still Lancelot? Go with Dinadan and Dinadan. This didn't have a better song. He's the thing Aragorn is. Okay. Okay. So we want to go with try by the tourney by see the tourney I mean try to kill Lancelot. Crossing your worlds here. Okay. Oh yeah, we don't want all that hard work, right? So we're going to see Dinadan? Okay. I guess, yeah. Dinadan it is. Oh. Alright. I'll stick with Lancelot, he's cooler. Stick with Lancelot. No. Any other suggestions? All right. Lancelot. Okay, we'll stick with Lancelot for now. You decide to accompany Sir Lancelot on his quest. The next day, you and Sir Lancelot set off on your horses for Cornwall, looking for adventure. You meet with a knight with a green shield and green feathers in his helmet, who challenges Lancelot to a joust. You hand your knight his lance, and the two knights ride at each other. To your surprise, the great Sir Lancelot is knocked off his horse. The Green Knight courteously dismounts. The two men take out their swords, and the fight continues on foot. But every time Lancelot strikes him, the other knight grows stronger instead of weaker. You smell a rat. At last, the Green Knight breaks through all of Lancelot's defenses. Wounded, your friend falls to the ground. With a cry of triumph, the Green Knight suddenly turns into a large green parrot and flies away. "Sorcery!" gasps Lancelot, and falls into a faint. You've got to help. You haven't been paying much attention to the road. You've just followed Lancelot. Now you check the sun's position in the sky. You think east is the way back to Camelot. But to the west the trees look thinner. Maybe there's a castle there. Putting on Lancelot's helmet and some of his armor for safety, you ride off in what you hope is the right direction. Armor's pretty heavy. It's pretty funny that we're just like able to put on his armor and like ride his horse now. Yeah, we know how to ride horses now, sure. Time to burn some ladies. Yeah, we stole all this stuff. All right. If you go east, turn to page 34. If you go west, turn to page 48. East. So yeah, Camelot is back east. Anyone say west? We're just like, oh, west, there might be a castle there too. Oh, there's castles everywhere, probably. We just leave him there? Yeah, I guess so. Like, we're going to get help for him. I guess we can't. I mean, he's too heavy for us to carry him back, maybe? We just, like, leave him there without any of his armor. What does it mean, putting on some of his armor? What pieces of his armor did we put on? Like, what parts of ourselves did we want to protect the most? All right. East. Riding east on the road, you haven't gone far when the knight with the big ostrich plume in his helmet approaches. He greets you with a challenge to a fight. Before you can explain why you can't possibly fight against him, he's riding at you, and you have to defend yourself. With no previous experience at being a knight, you don't do too well. In a minute, you're flat on the ground, and the plumed knight's sword is pointed at your throat. "Do you yield?" he demands. "Of course you do." "Ha, Sir Lancelot," the knight laughs, getting on his horse. "You're not such a great fighter after all." He must have recognized Lancelot's shield and armor and thought you were the great knight. He's gone before you can correct his mistake. You wonder what will happen if he ever meets the real Sir Lancelot, once Lancelot is back on his feet, wearing his own armor again. The end. Wow, how is that even an ending? We just like we didn't get killed. We just like, maybe like word will spread that like Lancelot is like weak. Wait, and our helmet's off. So how would he think that's confused us with Lancelot? Like we're still only like 12 years old, right? So no, we didn't die. Did we get killed? No. Word would spread that we've only seen Lancelot in his armor. We've never seen him out of his armor. Now we know that he's actually just a 12-year-old. Yeah, now I guess we go home. I don't know. Like, do we go back to our own world? Are we stuck there forever? Like what? All right. Hey, want to see what happens if we go west? We do die just of dysentery in about 4 weeks. Yeah, like just like everybody. I'll die of the Black Plague or something. Go west. There's probably a castle there. I don't see as many trees over there. There's got to be a castle. Riding west on the road, you haven't gone far when a lady on a white horse comes galloping up to you. "Oh, Sir Lancelot, best of knights," she cries. "My husband's hawk is caught up in a tree. He'll be furious if he finds out I've lost her. Can you help me?" Because you're in his armor, she must think that you're Lancelot. But you're pretty good at climbing trees, so you agree to help her. You have to take the armor off, then you climb up and get the bird. As you're prepared to come down, a fully armed knight steps out of the bushes. "At last, Sir Lancelot," he says, "I have you where I want you, without your weapons." The leaves and branches are hiding your real face. All he sees is the armor on the ground and a hand sticking out of the tree. What a dirty trick! You'll have to think quickly to get out of this mess. If you tell him you're not Sir Lancelot, turn to page 113. If you try dropping something on his head, turn to page 74. A hawk stuck? Yeah, how would a hawk get stuck in a tree? Like, can't like hawks fly and stuff? When they just fly out of the tree? Maybe the hawk like is in the tree and doesn't want to come down from the tree? Oh, sexy? Where he says, "Now I have you where I want you." Drop on his head. It's building a nest. Drop something on his head. Drop on his head. During this time period, venereal disease has rendered everyone half blind. That's why everyone thinks we're Lancelot. I think, I guess we'll try dropping something on his head. Unless that seems to be what most people want to do. I don't know if we tell him, maybe that would be safer. Alright, we'll just try to drop something on his head. Drop things. Drop things, please. Okay, I will. Oh, well. You look around for something to drop on the treacherous knight's head. The hawk you've strapped to your arm won't drop. It'll fly. Twigs aren't heavy enough. Neither is your shoe. The only thing left is you. "Can you come closer?" you ask. Oh, whoops, that's us. "Can you come closer?" you ask the knight. "You come closer now." Okay. "Can you come closer?" you ask the knight. "I can't hear you." You get him right where you want him, and you jump. You're about to kick him as you drop, and he falls right over. Nimbly, you jump on your horse and are off and away. You ride for what seems like a very long time. Eventually, you find an old hermit versed in healing. You take him to Sir Lancelot. The knight's wound is not bad. He's just lost some blood. You stay with the hermit while Lancelot recovers. During that time, the hermit teaches you much about healing. You'll need it during the exciting adventures that await you with Sir Lancelot and the Knights of the Round Table. The end. Wait, and like, I thought we were supposed to go on adventures and stuff. Like, where's all the adventures that we're supposed to be going on? Perfectly executed dropkick. And why is the hawk is like still on our hand? When did we strap the hawk to our arm? I forgot that we did that. I cannot see how that could possibly work, but okay. This ending sucks. Yeah, no, it's like all over so fast. I wonder what would happen if we did try to like tell him that we're not Sir Lancelot. I wonder if he'd believe that. This book is ridiculous. Try to go help Dinadad? Tell him that we're not. Yeah, we'll try telling him that we're not Lancelot. And maybe then if we get killed, because he doesn't believe us and just like stabs us instead, then we'll go help Dinadad. Oh, this is the last book in her contract before she could write what she wanted to. So she didn't want to write about Lancelot and Camelot. Is that what you're saying, Rachel? You've made a mistake, you tell the knight. I'm not Sir Lancelot. I'm just a kid. I mean, a page. Where did you get his armor, then? I'm taking it in for repairs. But the best armorers are in Camelot. You were going the wrong way. I was? Oh, I got lost. Where do you come from? America, you say, before you have time to think. And where, pray tell, is that? By now you're so mad you say, it's in the future, where people drive cars and wear blue jeans instead of walking around in tin cans like you. Even as you speak, the scene is getting misty. Then you're back in the bookshop. The old man says, if you tell anyone where you're from, the spell is broken. Would you like to try again? Or would you rather read the book now? To find out what happens next, read Swords Point. A Yankee in King Arthur's court. Lady Guinan. Okay. So should we go help? It's in the future. He broke it. What's in the future? Oh. Yeah, this would have been useful information before, old man. Well, maybe because we didn't read the book. Do we want to go back and read the book, maybe? Or just want to go ahead and help Dinadan? Where's that? Dinadan. Oh yeah, we wanted to be a page, right? So we were a page. Then did it help Dinadan? Okay. Chris is doing Samuel Clemens' voice. Yeah, not very well, but do like when he's like. Okay, to 89. Let's help the D guy. You decide to see what Sir Dinadan wants, and you scurry along behind the young man. The knight is in the stables, talking to the groom about his horses. The trouble is, he's saying, the stable boys don't know how to ride a war horse properly. My charger isn't getting the right kind of exercise. Sometimes I think the boys treat him like an old mare. Sir Dinadan laughs at his own little joke. You'd think Sir Dinadan seems like a very patient man, with a good sense of humor, even when he's annoyed about his horses. The knight notices you. Hey, page, he calls. Turn to page 77. Oh. What about you? Sir Dinadan asks you. Can you ride a horse? You look up at the large horse silently. You're not sure you can ride the kind of horse a knight would ride. Let's give you a try, Sir Dinadan says. He lifts you onto his charger's back. The brown horse is enormous. It must be to carry a man in full metal armor, but the charger is surprisingly easy to ride. You have a good feel for horses, the knight tells you. Why don't I start training you in jousting? You can keep Brownie exercised in your spare time. Who's Brownie?
Brownie's a horse.
Oh, I guess we love Sir Dinadan, yep. Because he's funny. Good old Uncle Dinadan. What spare time, you think, as you prepare for the tournament? Learning to joust is hard work. It's 10 times worse than gym class. You practice making the horse respond to your every move. You practice holding a lance perfectly steady and riding with it aimed at a stick figure. Every time you miss the target, it swivels and hits you in the back. Everyone's excited about the big tournament at Camelot. All the knights are going to fight in it to show who's the best. Sir Lancelot is off on a quest, so you hope Sir Dinadan has a chance of winning. Of course, you wouldn't mind fighting in it yourself, but you're not even a knight yet, so how can you? And there we are, doing some practice with this stick figure. I want brownies. Yeah, brownies do sound good. I don't have brownies, but I do have this hot chocolate that I made earlier. So let's take a sip of that. Okay. Turn to page 13. I can find 13. There we go. Brownies. That's what I should have done today. I should have gotten some brownies on the way home. Okay. Oh, you usually don't get stabbed in the gym. That's true, Rachel. No, that doesn't usually happen. One of the young men training with you is Mordred, the king's nephew. People say that his mother, Morgan Le Fay, is a witch. You'd believe it. Mordred's kind of a creep. He's always bragging. For instance, he says he's going to fight in the tournament, but he's not much better a fighter than you. In fact, one day during practice, you knock him off his horse. Mordred sprains his ankle because he doesn't fall right. To your surprise, Mordred's mother, Morgan Le Fay, comes to see you, and she isn't mad about her son's ankle. Instead, she says, "You're turning into a good fighter. I hope you'll set a good example for my son. He doesn't practice enough, I know." Then she gets to the point. "I had a little treat prepared for Mordred. I made him a special sword to use in the tournament. Of course, a young boy like him still wouldn't get very far, but I thought it would be fun for him to try. We had his disguise all planned out. Now that he can't use it, I wonder if you would like to." What a nice mom! The chance to fight in the tournament is like a dream come true. But do you want to get involved with something that might be magic? Yeah, she just gets bad press. She's not so bad after all. She's actually, she's actually pretty nice. If you agree to fight in the tournament, turn to page 31. If you turn down Morgan's offer, turn to page 62. Get involved with magic? So we do want to get involved with magic? Does anyone else think we should get involved? Yeah, we probably shouldn't, but it sounds like it would be fun. Blood makes the grass grow. Kill, kill, kill. Yes. Fight. Yes, magic. Okay. All right, so we're going to fight in the tournament. You can't resist the chance to fight in the big tournament. So you let Morgan Le Fay give you a suit of white armor and a beautiful sword. She makes you hide until the tournament's almost done. You're a little nervous, because it means you'll be fighting the best knights. Finally, Morgan gives you a little push and points you towards a particular knight. You haven't been at Camelot long enough to recognize his emblems, and of course, with helmets on, you can't see anybody's face. You charge your horse at the other knight. To your amazement, you knock him off his horse. He must be tired, because it's the end of the tournament. You continue the fight on foot. Something funny is going on. You can feel the other knight's sword hitting you, but you never get cut, and you don't fall. On the other hand, every time you're lucky enough to hit him, he staggers. Sometimes he bleeds. This is awful. But he's fighting so fiercely, you can't stop, or he might kill you. You don't know how to stop the fight, so you keep bashing away at him. At last, he falls to the ground and doesn't get up. People pour out onto the field and remove his helmet. It is Arthur himself. You have been a tool of the treachery of Morgan Le Fay and her magic sword, and you are responsible for the death of the great King Arthur. The end. Well, that kind of sucks. we just killed King Arthur. Wow. What's that on his shield? Like a 3-foot stool or something? Yeah, we killed him. We just killed King Arthur. Well, he didn't really kill him though, right? Because doesn't he like sleep until he's needed again in the future someday? This might be the worst ending of any book. Yeah, we just killed the king. We just killed like the hero of the story. Not good. Yeah, he's super dead. It says you can't see people's faces through their armor, but you can see our face, kind of. So, okay. We're murderers. All right, so do we want to like maybe not take our magic sword? We all do this plot of Spamalot forever. This is truly penned by someone who was out the door already. Yeah. Like, the endings are just, like, so weird. They're, like, just so, like, sudden. Let's not take the murder sword from Morgan. That sounds like a good idea. So we turn down Morgan's offer. Page 62. You don't want to get mixed up with magic, so you have to think of a chivalrous way to turn down Morgan Le Fay's offer so she won't be offended. Lady, you say, since it was I who made Mordred fall, it would not be right for me to benefit from his injury. Thanks just the same. The tournament is exciting to watch, but you're also glad you aren't fighting in it. Even though nobody's trying to kill anybody, knights do get hurt being hit with swords and falling off horses. Sir Dinadan comes in third place out of 150 knights, with only a few bruises to show for it. After a couple of more years of training, some of the pages get promoted to squire. You are among them. Now you will be able to help your knight in tournaments and ride out with him on quests. If you keep on doing as well as you have been, you will soon see the day when King Arthur will make you a knight of the Round Table. Sorry, we don't want to murder. We didn't. Oh, that's true. Yeah, we didn't tell him we were from America. So, yeah. So the old dude's like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we're there for years, apparently. We never see our families again. Families are like, what happened to our son? Like, they just disappeared. They went into this creepy bookstore all the time. And then, like, one day they went into the creepy bookstore and they never came back out again. Climb up the night ladder. Wow, these endings are, like, so sudden and abrupt. We might maybe go back to maybe tell them that we're going to finish the book so that we know what we're in for. Maybe try that. Take the book and finish it. There's something else. Alright. Yeah, let's finish the book. Let's do that. What if you went to Camelot and it turned out to be no good? Maybe you'd never even get close to even being a knight. The chance is too awful to think about. You want to know the complete story of King Arthur, though, so you take the book. After that, your mother is amazed to find you reading all the time. Your teachers at school get used to the fact that you're always working on projects about King Arthur, from your book report on the Sword and the Stone by T.H. White, to your complete scale model of an ancient castle. You go to college to study more about Arthur's legend. In time, you become a world expert on King Arthur. But there are lots of questions no one's ever answered about Arthur's Camelot. You can't help thinking that if you'd taken the old man's offer, you wouldn't have had to spend so much time looking for the answers in books. Yeah, because that's so boring, have to look for answers in books. But who knows what would have happened to you? The end. I don't know, where's the adventures? I want some adventures. Maybe if we choose to become a scullion. What if Camelot sucks? On the other hand, we will not go to Camelot. It is a silly place. Let's be a scullion. Do the not page. Yeah, do the not page option. Right, Beth? Yeah, be a dysentery. Better than book learning, that's for sure. All right, be a scullion. The model of the scullion is dressed in brown, with an old canvas apron. Not very impressive looking, but worth a try. In the King Arthur book, adventures can happen to anyone. You take the model from the old man. As your hand closes on the model, you feel a rushing all around you, as though you were being turned inside out and upside down at once. Suddenly you feel a thump. You're sitting on the floor. Right in front of you is a huge fireplace. The fire is going full blast, and the biggest piece of meat you've ever seen is roasting on a spit. It looks like a whole cow. Out of nowhere comes a blow to the side of your head. A red-faced man in a bloody apron is standing over you. "Get to work," he shouts. "Do you want the meat to burn?" Turn to page 37. Your ears are ringing from the blow. You'd love to tell the bully who hit you to shove off, but that might not be too smart. So you say humbly, "No, sir." "Then get up and turn that spit." He points to the handle by the fire. "If the meat is burnt, it's me, the head cook, that gets the blame from Sir Kay, not my lazy helper." You take the handle and start turning the meat so that it will roast evenly. Soon your arms are aching with the weight of the spit, but the head cook says nothing about stopping. Then you hear a funny shuffling sound. You see a tiny girl trying to carry 2 big buckets of water without spilling them. It isn't easy for her. Maybe you should help her. If you go to help her, turn to page 59. If you keep turning the spit, turn to page 83. Yeah, it does sound like being a scullion is like more exciting already. We've been transported to a Burger King, where they cook whole cows. So we should help her. She's got it. Keep turning. I don't think we should help her. Or just keep turning it. Yeah, we'll burn the roast. And then we'll probably get whacked upside the head again. Okay. Sorry. Turn to page 83. Maybe she's like under some kind of test too, and if we help her, then like she'll fail her test. Oh. You decide to keep turning the spit. As long as you do so, the head cook doesn't bother you, but your hands are getting really hot and sore. You blow on them. A red-haired knight who has come looking for the cook notices you. "What tender hands you have for a kitchen worker," he says. "How long have you been here?" "I just came today," you tell him. "I am Sir Kay," he says, "the king's foster brother. I am in charge of seeing that the castle runs smoothly. I hope you'll work hard." You do work hard. You wash a lot of dishes and cut up a lot of onions, but nothing exciting ever happens, until one day the guards come and grab you, holding your arms in their strong grips. "What have I done?" you cry. Someone's tried to kill King Arthur," says Sir Kay. "You are a mysterious foreigner. I arrest you." "But that's not justice," you say. "You're supposed to give me a chance to defend myself." "All right," says Sir Kay. "You can have a trial by ordeal or a trial by combat." All right, and here he is all pointing the finger at us. It's like, you must have killed him. Somehow while you were like turning that spit, you also killed King Arthur. No, it was you. "I arrest you." Wouldn't it make... I arrest you. Say our safe word. Yeah, why are all the people's faces smashed? Yeah, they're like, "I just got punched in the face. I'm really constipated." Okay. If you choose the trial by ordeal, turn to page 6. If you choose the trial by combat, turn to page 63. Whispers, "America." I've come from America. Get me out of here. All right. They both sound pretty bad. Like, well, trial by combat, that's pretty clear cut as to like what that is. But trial by ordeal. Ordeal. All right. Trial by ordeal, obviously. Page 6. You don't think you could win a combat, so you say, "I'll take the trial by ordeal." Sir Kay has an iron bar heated up until it's white hot. "Now, pick up the iron in your hand," he says. "If you are innocent, it will not burn you." "No way." "Then off to the dungeons with you." "But I am innocent." Slowly, you reach your hands out to the white-hot iron. Your fingers close around it. Then you hold it up for all to see. And your hand is unmarked. In your own world, such a trick could never work. But in the land of chivalry, things are different. You're just beginning to realize how different. The end. So if she floats like a duck, she's a witch. Innocent is totally what a guilty person would say, but I'm innocent. Yeah, medieval logic. It's a little crazy. Well, I wonder what the trial by combat would be like. Probably just gets us killed. Now, let's try the trial by combat, I guess. Help the girl, yeah. Let's do that. If we can find that. Where is that? Page 10. I forget what page it is. Page 4. Next page, page 11. No. Page 14. We became a scullion. We went to page 26. Then we went to 37. Help her. Help her! Yeah, we would not survive in a trial by combat. Or help the girl. It actually turns out to be Morgan Le Fay. No. Here we are. You peer around, but the head cook is nowhere in sight. So you hurry over to help the girl. Here, you say, let me help you with those buckets. She looks up at you gratefully. Oh, thank you. They said if I got my work done fast, I could go and watch the feast. You empty the water into a big tub full of dirty dishes. All the knights and their ladies will be there in the great hall with our lord the king, the girl continues. King Arthur will give people quests to go on. As you're helping her with the dishes, a shadow falls across you both. Uh-oh. My reward is to watch rich people eat. Yeah, what a great reward. A tall man with red hair is scowling down at you. He's wearing a sword, but he seems more interested in the kitchen than in armor. Where is cook? He demands. I told him we needed 60 pies for dinner, and we're 3 pies short. You raise your hand to point him in the right direction, and the man seizes it. Are you the new kitchen help? But your hands are so soft and white. It's true. The girl's hands are rough and red compared to yours. Well, pretty hands, you'll have to work harder than that if you want to keep your job. You say, I am working hard. His hands are soft and white. Okay. Yeah. I also want 60 pies for dinner. On the next page. The man's face flushes an ugly red that matches his hair. You watch your tongue, or you won't have any work at all. He pushes you roughly. You slip in a puddle of water. Your feet slip out from under you, and you land right in the dish tub. The man laughs loudly. You're furious, but you guess by the girl's anxious face that this must be a very important person. If you leave the room to keep from losing your temper, turn to page 38. If you try to get even with him, turn to page 70. Whoa. Everyone's like, uh-oh. He's done it this time. And there's a guy like around the corner was like, oh no. That doesn't look good. Alright. Leave the room. Don't get mad, get even. We can't get even with him. I mean, he's the king's foster brother or something like that. Try to get even would probably just get us killed, but in a fun way. Get even, that's sure to work. We can't get even. All right, we're just gonna leave the room. You decide you had better leave the room to cool down. Swallowing your anger, you use the girl's apron to wipe the worst of the dishwater off yourself. Then you walk out of the room with all the dignity you can muster. You find yourself in a big stone courtyard. A troop of men in armor is clattering on horseback into the yard. You stop to watch the glorious sight. A tall man in a scarlet cape dismounts first. He has a handsome, noble face. Just as he starts to walk under the archway into the castle, you notice something terrible. A large block of stone is hurtling to the ground. Without pausing even to shout, You throw yourself at the man, knocking him out of the way. The stone crashes just inches from where the man had been standing. Instantly you are surrounded by knights who seize you and pin you to the ground. Oh no. Sounds really bad. You just saved that guy's life. We're going to have to kill you now. All the dignity we can muster is no dignity at all. Well, next page. Hold, the noble knight cries. This child saved me. At once the other knights let you go. They bow to the tall man, who seems to be their leader. Now, he says to you, I am deeply in your debt for my life. Name your boon, and you shall have it. You know from the book that a boon is a special favor, and that you can ask for anything from gold and jewels to a promise that he will save your life someday in return. A boon is a valuable thing to have. Should you save it for when you're really in trouble, or is now the time to ask to get out of the kitchens? If you say you'll wait and call in the favor later, turn to page 22. If you ask now to be taken to the king, turn to page 65. Ask to get taken out of the kitchen, of course. Ask now, save it. Does anyone else think we should save it? Now? Now? Okay, I guess we'll ask. So what we're asking is to be taken to the king now. Now, that probably is the king. Take me to the king. Well, here I am. Okay. Sir, you say to the noble knight, trying to talk the way the people in the book did, my one wish is to serve King Arthur. The tall, noble man looks you in the eye. Is it really? Then I have work for you to do. He puts one arm around your shoulder and walks off alone with you. I shall ask you to do something for me, but you may not like it. Anything, you say, imagining dangers. You may not realize that the king has many enemies. Not everyone was happy when Arthur pulled the sword from the stone and put an end to the rule of the wicked knights. But his enemies are two-faced. They smile at the king and plot behind his back. But no one takes any notice of a kitchen worker. Keep your eyes and ears open, and you may uncover a plot. Of course, it means going back to the kitchens and working very hard and not looking like a hero to anyone but me. Are you brave enough to do this? This isn't the adventure you had in mind, but it is what the old man said you could expect if you accepted the Scullion model. Perhaps maybe you're on the right track for your quest, even if it means washing dishes while you serve King Arthur. The tall man waits patiently for your answer. I'll do it, you say. Good. He takes a ring from his smallest finger and hands it to you. Keep this safe. If you have news for me or need my help, send the ring, and I will see you at once. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Well, the best thing you could do is just go back to working in the kitchen, scrubbing dishes. That's what you should do. Oh, good to have so many adventures in the kitchen. Okay, turn to page 96. Just keep your eyes and your ears open while you're in the kitchen. That will help us so much. The fire fest of King Arthur's court. You tuck the nobleman's ring in your shirt where no one can see it. The man rejoins the group of knights. A page runs up to him, takes his helmet, and hands him a gold crown on a pillow. The man puts the crown on his head. The man you saved was King Arthur himself. No wonder he's afraid of enemies. It suddenly occurs to you that that falling stone might not have been an accident. You'll have to be careful. When you get back to the kitchens, the head cook is furious. Young good-for-nothing, he shouts at you. You duck to avoid getting hit again. Disappear from work again, and I'll have your guts for garters. Well, you'll work tonight. No watching the feast for you. Swallowing bitter disappointment, you go back to scrubbing dishes. Later, while everyone else is watching the king's feast, you're feeling sorry for yourself. You're stuck in the dark chimney corner plucking chickens when you hear voices. You hold still, listening in your corner. "Mother, this isn't the great hall," you hear a boy say. Go on to the next page. "Patience, son. This is the back way, where we can talk in secret. You'll take your place in the great hall soon enough, sooner than my dear brother Arthur thinks. Meanwhile, who would think to find Queen Morgan Le Fay in Arthur's kitchens? Are you sure this is safe?" "Perfectly safe. The servants are all upstairs watching the feast." You're practically holding your breath to be quiet, but the kitchen feathers keep drifting about, tickling your nose. Oh no, you're going to sneeze. Oh no, we're a creepster. You can't watch the rich people eat. It's so sad. Right. You jam your finger against your nose, and the sneeze passes. You'll listen carefully to hear everything that Queen Morgan Le Fay and her son say. You don't like the sound of the woman's voice when she talks about Arthur. "Now, you wait here, Mordred," Morgan Le Fay says. "I'm going to get some things ready, and then we'll go into the hall together." You see their shadows on the wall. The woman leaves the room, and the boy wanders over to the window. If you decide to follow the queen to see what she's up to, turn to page 40. If you watch to see what the boy will do, turn to page 86. The kid has better judgment than his mom, that's true. Follow the mom. Anyone else think we should follow the mom? Follow mom. Follow mom. Okay, page 40. The kid's Mordred's probably not going to do anything. He's going to just wait for her to come back. Maybe not. I'll watch the boy. I mean, well, maybe he will do something. We'll get back to him, maybe. If we don't get killed. Or if we do get killed. You sneak quietly along the dark corridors after Morgan Le Fay. She enters a tower room. You wait outside. Strange blue lights flash from the cracks in the door. After a while, she leaves, and you creep softly into the room. There's a book on the table in the middle of the room. It says, Spells of Gramarye. Spells of Gramarye. You open it and read, "To charm a man into a beast, to curse a child with dwarfishness. The queen must be a witch." Suddenly the door opens behind you. "What are you doing with that book?" shrieks Morgan Le Fay. Turn to page 105. Reading it, you say to Morgan Le Fay in shock, unable to think of anything else. All at once her tone changes. "Can you read? You, a mere servant? How clever of you. You know, I need an apprentice to help me, and you must be tired of working in the kitchens. I can teach you much, much more, if you will come into my service." You hesitate. Do you want to learn black magic and work for someone who might be an enemy of Arthur's? But she is his sister, and you might want to keep an eye on her anyway. "Madam," you tell the witch queen, "I'd love to help you, but I don't really think I have what it takes to do magic." Queen Morgan's green eyes gleam dangerously. "I would advise you to accept my offer." So obviously we want to learn black magic, right? Or do we tell, if you agree to become the queen's apprentice, turn to page 68. If you tell her you can't really read, turn to page 55. You can't read. This is not a smart idea. No, probably not. I think we always make the choices that are like the craziest, just to see what happens. That's usually how it turns out. Alright, I guess we're learning black magic. Magic. Although it is a risk, You decide to play along as the Witch Queen's apprentice. "It's true," you say to Morgan Le Fay. "My talents are wasted in the kitchen." "Good," she says. "Then promise to serve me faithfully. It will go badly for you if you do not." You cross your fingers behind your back and promise. "Your first task is to carry this down to the feast hall for me." She hands you a gorgeous sword in a scabbard. You need both arms to carry it. Morgan Le Fay leads the way back to the kitchens. "Excalibur!" Mordred exclaims when he sees the sword. You hold it tighter. Excalibur is Arthur's famous magic sword. Whoever draws Excalibur cannot be harmed. Has Arthur lent it to his sister? Or is she up to no good? The Queen only smiles. But whatever's going on, while you hold Excalibur, you feel safe. Go on to the next page. The great hall is bright with torches and people in fine clothes. The king is seated at the high table. Morgan says, "Brother, I have cleaned and polished Excalibur for you." She pushes you forward with the sword to give to Arthur. You know that Morgan is a witch, and that because you are her apprentice, she'll be watching you carefully from now on. Is it safe now to warn the king? If you draw Excalibur, will the sword protect you from her magic? If you draw the sword and warn the king against his sister, turn to page 114. If you give the sword to Excalibur, if you give the sword to Arthur, if you give the sword to itself, if you give the sword to Arthur, turn to page 76. Maybe we can murder Arthur again. Yeah, how many? 14 different endings, and only 3 of them you kill King Arthur. We can't really read. Ah, we're just kidding. We can't read. If you give the sword to Arthur, he's going to turn him into a bear or something. Yeah, probably. I guess draw it. Yeah. Just giving him the sword seems like not a great idea. We've already murdered Arthur once. Draw it. Draw it. Okay, we're going to draw it. We already killed him once, so once is enough. Gripping Excalibur tightly, you pull the sword from its sheath. "King," you shout, "listen to me!" But even as you speak, Arthur's knights draw their swords to protect their king. You pray that the sword's magic will protect you. It doesn't. The last thing you hear as you fall is the Witch Queen's silvery laughter. You'll never know that the sword you held was not the real Excalibur. The end. Well, that's not good. And the king doesn't seem too happy. Okay. Wow, that was that seemed like the right choice to make. Alright. I guess we just have to give him the sword. You hand Arthur the sword. He says to the queen, "Thank you, sister. I will use it in the tournament." The next week is full of strangeness for you. Morgan really does begin to teach you magic. You learn to call the wind and to bring darkness across the sun. You also learn how to find lost objects and to tie complicated knots. What would it be, like in the Boy Scouts now or something? It's basically like being in the Boy Scouts. It's not really magic. In return, you have to help Morgan with some disgusting spells, like getting plants from graveyards at midnight and killing black cats. What? Okay. Sounds like a great time. You watch Morgan for signs of plotting against the king, but find nothing. You really have to help her kill black... Oh, that's okay. I'm not even going to dwell on that. All right. The big tournament finally comes. Mordred is excited because he's going to fight in it. But when all the knights ride out onto the field, you don't see him. Of course, it's hard to recognize anyone in all that armor. King Arthur fights wonderfully. Even though nobody's trying to kill anybody, it's a good thing he's got Excalibur to keep him from harm, because people do get hurt in the jousting. One knight breaks an arm falling off his horse, and even with armor, several competitors are hurt by thrusts of an opponent's sword. When the tournament is almost over, a strange knight rides into the ring. He's dressed all in white, from head to toe. Even his shield is white. In a loud voice, he challenges King Arthur to a single combat. We were killing, yeah, apparently we're killing black cats now, Rachel. Sorry. Well, that's what we do when we're evil, I guess. Yeah, that is pretty terrible. That's why we don't. Yeah, that's why we don't apprentice for evil witches. That's why it's not a good idea. Right. The king accepts the White Knight's challenge. The two knights ride at each other from opposite ends of the field. The White Knight knocks Arthur off his horse, so the two of them continue to fight on foot using their swords. But even though the king keeps landing blows on his opponent, the White Knight never tires. The fight seems to go on for hours. Then Arthur stumbles to his knees, sorely wounded. The White Knight raises his sword. "Do you yield?" he asks the king. "Not while I have breath left in my body," replies King Arthur. By the rules of chivalry, no one is supposed to interfere with the fight, but you can't just stand there and let Arthur be killed. If you use your magic to help Arthur, turn to page 102. If you try to get closer to the fighters, turn to page 57. I am the most racist knight. Get closer to them so we can see Arthur get killed up close. Get a ringside seat. So we want to try to use magic to help him? Like, what magic do we know, though? It's just that we know how to call the wind. We know how to block out the sun. That's about it. I don't know, we want to try to use our magic, or do we want to get closer to them? How close, though, really? Try to get closer? I feel like we try to use like magic to help him, like that gets him disqualified, or like that's like against the rules or something, maybe? Block out the sun? Yeah, we have to kill cats to use our magic. It's pretty terrible. Block out the sun. Yeah, I think we'll just try to get closer. You decide to try and get a closer look at the fighters. You edge up to the fence. What you see makes you gasp in shock. Then you feel a cold hand gripping your shoulder. It's Morgan Le Fay. "Yes," she says, "it is indeed Mordred in the white armor. He wields the real Excalibur. The one you gave Arthur is a copy. The king sees it too. See him reaching for the sword. This game is lost. We must flee." You hear the king shouting, "Treason!" But suddenly the earth is far below you. You have wings. You and the queen have become a pair of crows. You fly on until you come to the Morgan's castle. The queen locks it up tight and sets her men to guard it. But weeks pass, and Arthur doesn't come. Then, one day, the queen sends for you. And there we go, flying off with the queen. That's not so bad. Get to, like, turn into birds and fly away. Alright. This is, like, the best adventure we've had so far. We only had to, like, become evil to do it. Okay. What? Is this a new thing that she's doing? Okay. "I have made my brother a gift," Queen Morgan says, "to show him how sorry I am about Excalibur." She holds up a magnificent cloak studded with jewels. "Give it to the king yourself, with my love, but make sure no one else puts it on, not even you." That doesn't sound suspicious at all. When you get to Camelot, you are received into the hall. You make your speech about the cape, and you can see that Arthur is touched by his sister's gift. But Arthur's wife, Queen Guinevere, says to him, "You are too ready to forgive, my dear. Let the messenger try on the cape before you touch it yourself." You say, "This gift is for the king. It would be wrong for a mere servant to wear it before he does." But Guinevere insists. You wonder if Morgan is really trying to make up with Arthur. Is there some danger in the cape? Whatever you do, someone's going to be mad at you. If you try on the cape, turn to page 73. If you follow Morgan's orders not to put it on, turn to page 95. So wait, what was the outcome of the fight? I guess he yielded. Just like we yielded when that guy thought we were Lancelot. I guess it just like made him look bad. That's all. I don't think it was like anything super terrible. Yeah, do we want to kill Arthur or ourselves? I think that's really the choice here. I don't know. That's do we want to like sacrifice ourselves for Arthur, or just be like, oh, he might not die. He just might be turned into like a newt or something. He'll be turned into an old man. Ourselves. So we put on the cape. Could be a cool looking outfit. Okay, we'll put on the cape. I mean, it's a cool looking cape, so why wouldn't we want to put it on, right? All right. Decided it can't hurt just to try the cape on. The jeweled cape glows when you shake it out. You put it on your shoulders, and then you scream. The cape has burst into flames. In a moment, there is nothing but a pile of ashes on the floor of Camelot. You're lying on the ground. You smell burning. Did you leave something in the toaster? Then you remember Queen Morgan. Why aren't you dead? Instead, you're on the floor of the bookshop. The old man is leaning over you. Well done, he says. You saved King Arthur's life. Now, are there any more books you'd like to read? The end. No, I don't think so. I think we're good. Yeah, no, that book was enough for us. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. This can't hurt. Cape bursts into flames. Well, at least we didn't actually die. Well, we actually did die in Camelot, but then we came back to the present time. This kid's like, I'm never reading again. Yeah. Yeah, we did get to go home at least. We did win, kind of. Well, I mean, Arthur didn't get killed. We didn't, like, turn to the dark side or something. Well, that was fun. I think we'll stop here. Moral, do not read books. Books are bad. How much did this book originally sell for? $2.50. Wow. 1988? Yeah, that sounds about right. Is that horse, like, covered in armor? I don't... no, it's not. Okay. Huh. That's some weird armor. I like the expression on that kid's face. It's pretty funny. We never fought the Black Knight. Huh. So, yet again, the thing that was on the cover, like, never actually happened. So. And we didn't get turned into a shark. Bad haircut, I know. I guess everyone had a haircut like that back then. Don't mess with me and my bowl cut. My bowl cut's pretty badass. All right. Well, yeah. I guess we'll stop here. Not the best book ever, but it was still fun. And we finally found like a real adventure. It's fun. It's funny how like a lot of the stories, a lot of the endings like happen like almost immediately. You have to like keep reading to find something where you actually go on like a longer adventure. Why are there shields hanging from the tree? That I don't understand. All right, you're welcome, Rachel. All right, well, I think I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit, so I think I'll stop here, and hope you all had fun. Thanks for being here with me. You're welcome, Beth. That's where they grow. That's where they grow. All right. Yeah, you're welcome, Caroline, Stephanie. All right. Well, I will hopefully see you all in another week and have a new Choose Your Own Adventure book to read. So, yeah, have a good week and take care.